I'll say Francis de Sales also was a topic of conversation in France, particularly the Shrine at Lourdes, which is hosting the Catholic Media Federation's International Day in his honor. More than 250 journalists from around 24 countries will attend the meetings. They're discussing the most important issues in Catholic media. EWTN Vatican Bureau Chief Andreas Thonhauser is in France and caught up with the head of the Vatican's communications department.
We're here in front of the Basilica in Lourdes, and with me is Dr. Paolo Ruffini, the prefect of the dicastery of communication. Dr. Ruffini, Professor Ruffini, you're here with a pilgrimage for journalists in Lourdes. Why is it important for the dicastery to co-organize something like that?
Why it is important? I think it's important to meet each other here and pray together also, to weave our communion as journalists and to share how difficult it is to testimony in our times of division, of confusion, and to discern how can we bring the truth to the world and find the truth in our work. That sometimes it's difficult, sometimes we know that we can misunderstand or we can be not so able to see the truth. And praying together, sharing thoughts together, discerning together is the best way to weave our communion as Christian, Catholic and journalists.
And for you personally, how do we manage to communicate the gospel in our modern world?
Communicate the gospel is not just telling something, because the truth is already told by someone that is God. So I think that the best thing that we can do is trying to be Christian and testimony to be how we are, doing our job, and also thinking that the job of a journalist is important, but a lot of other jobs are important. Loving each other, this is from what we will be recognized. This is the best thing to have in mind when we try to do our job. And the message of Pope Francis in this year, focusing on the heart, so focusing on charity, on love, is something that means a lot to our job, to see through the eyes of the heart, to see through the eyes of love.
Many journalists from all over the world coming here, especially from Europe, but also other parts of the world. We've heard a lot of talks, lectures. What will you take with you personally? What have you learned already?
Well, the first thing I learned is that how we are interested to listen to the others. And we are discussing a lot of things, starting from the lesson of our Saint Francis de Sales, and then how do we have to deal with the difficult issues, from abuses or anything that we have to deal with. And the most important I think I'm taking at this time is that to have the humility and the humble to know that we don't know everything, and we will learn by doing, and we learn by doing this job we have to do with love and with mercy and listening our heart and the hearts of the others. This is what at this point I'm taking with me, how difficult is our job and how we can learn by doing, weaving the communion in Christ we are.
Thank you very much, Prefect Ruffini, Prefect of the Dicastery for Communications of the Vatican in Lourdes, Andreas Thonhauser, EWTN News Nightly.